For this video, we are going to talk about how to collect social structural information for the city of interest. And this is the same city that you used before for the previous assignment. To do that, we're going to use Social Explorer again, which we accessed through Northeastern's library. Once we're at the Social Explorer landing page, we'll click on Tables. And from the Tables tab, we will see all these various data releases. For the purposes of this example, I used the 1-year estimates, but please use the same data source that you did previously. Once we have selected the data, we'll click Begin Report, and then we have to specify for what level of geography should the data be returned to us. And so for our purposes, we want city level data, or what the census called places. And so we're going to select place, and then the city and the specific state, or the state and then the specific city. And then we will highlight Los Angeles and click Add, but you will do that same thing for your city, and then proceed to Tables. The tables are where we get the actual data. And we're going to need the total population because we're going to collect a percentage, or we're going to calculate a percentage. And once we have that, we can click on this search by keyword, which will allow us to refine our search so we don't have to scroll through all of these tables. One thing that we're going to want to collect is information about the poverty status. And so this is the poverty rate for your city. And there are all these different iterations of different poverty status, different ways of providing the same information. And I'm going to look for the simplest one. In this case, it's this poverty status in the past year by age and sex. And finally, we will look for median household income. And so type in income in search. And if you scroll down, you'll find median household income. And once we have this, we'll show the results. And essentially what we're going to be doing next is copying just a few of these key numbers into a spreadsheet. And so you'll see what we have here is that this is the number of people for whom poverty was determined. And so we will use that as the population of interest. It's also very, very similar to the total population, but we'll use that as a population base. And then we were going to copy the number of folks, the number of individuals who lived in poverty 1 year before the census estimate. And you'll see I keep centering and so forth, but that's just my OCD. And finally, we'll take median household income, and we will paste that in. And the last thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to calculate the percent, or the poverty rate, the percent of individuals living in poverty. And so we do that and I'm going to span this a little bit so you can see the formula. So we start with an equal sign and then 100 times, so that we're going to calculate a percent. And we're going to take the number of persons living in poverty divided by the total population. And that will give us the poverty rate. Once we have the poverty rate, we can also reduce the number of decimals to 1 or 2, just so it's a little bit easier to interpret. It's not distracting. And that's how we collect this information. You will do the same exact thing for your city, and that will provide a natural comparison between your city and Los Angeles, which is a traditional, is what they call a gateway city. Thanks everybody. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to reading what you find.